Hello and welcome. Good evening. It's Sunday and I'm here again on a Sunday on a crafting with Sandra. So today, if you've just seen the graphic I've just popped up, just a little pre-warning as to what I'm actually doing tonight. I'm going to be, obviously we're in autumn. I drove through the countryside yesterday going through up to Wroxham, and beautiful leaves along the side of the road, all the autumnal colours and fields of sunflowers still. So I thought I'd just give the sunflowers another go today. Hello, and there's my little message saying I should be in the right place. So I'm going to get you down onto the table and we're going to do something I had a little hash up of the other day. Hi Shaz, and the sunflower, lovely, so nice to have that, that's lovely. Okay, so I'm going to have a little quick one today with the sunflowers, just doing something a little bit different. I seem to remember doing one the other day and fairly recently, and was just guessing at the proportions and just did some sort of a window card. Can't remember what it was, and it's not still sitting on my table. So I'm going to go through another one tonight, just showing you how I kind of step by step it. I will come back to the sunflowers very quickly. We're going to use this little one down here. We've used this one recently. I'm going to use the little one. So I'm going to put that to one side for now. I haven't got a die cutting machine over, so that will cause problems in a sec. We need that. So I'm just going to grab some paper here, some card to stamp on. I'm going to use up a scrap, so we're going to have that one. The base card, I'm not 100% sure which one I want to do, but I've got a feeling I'm going to go for the espresso. So I've got one in the back there. I always turn them over, as I say to you. So that's got a tent card there. So we're going to use that one as a base. So let me just pop those there for a sec. Bear with me. I only need the little machine, so that can sit on the table. And we're back. So if I start by doing this one, just to show you how this floaty window type technique works. When you actually sit and work your measurements out, it's basically you're going to take out a band of your card. It doesn't matter what the size is, but for tonight's one, I'm going to roughly do this in 3. When we measure, you can't really see on this ruler, can you? Have I got the other one here? No, the other one's not about. So my white ruler has disappeared. So on this one, when we have a standard card, it's 14.85. So it's just short of 15 centimetres. So if you think it's kind of like 1.5 centimetres under, if I wanted to divide this, just for argument's sake, into 3 pieces, it's easy to go just on the inside of the 5, so you'll get just short of 15. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it just inside 5 centimetres. So trust me, it will work. It should work. So 14.85 is actually 1.5 millimetres. So really you're splitting a millimetre in half. So I like to say, right, we're going to go on the 5 centimetres. We're going to come just on the inside, just a fraction under. Okay, so there's one, and then we're going to do it again. Okay, so there's the 5, just going to come sort of literally half a millimetre under that. And we should be left with, if I measured that, we should be left with exactly the same. So there is our card front. Don't think I'm mad, please. Okay, I might be, but yeah, we just forget that for now. And we've got blues and reds teams on here. So we have 1 in red and we have 3 or 4 in blue. So that's good. So this will be it doesn't matter which order they are. They're exactly the same width and the same size pieces. So we've taken a chunk out of there, and I'm going to turn the middle chunk and put it that way. Okay, so we're going to join those two together. Now, if you want to, you can fix a whole panel of acetate in the front there to that size. So let's do that this time. Let me just grab that for you. I have a bag of acetate pieces I keep here, front and back, and they are just handy sizes. Some of these might even be card front sizes. Okay, so let's just take a piece out. Let's test one just to see if they are or not. No, that's a little bit on the short side. Okay, not a problem. I've obviously had those for another project. Just nice to show you as many different things as we can. That's a bit flimsy. I save acetate from all sorts of pieces of work. So that's a fairly substantial piece. So this is my acetate. I'm going to cut this to exactly the same size as the card front. So this is going to come this way. Bring you down a little bit. We are going to be on 10.5 centimetres. You can't really see it because it's clear. So 10.5 centimetres. I do like to go just on the inside of that as well. We don't want the acetate sticking out the side. So, and check it on the halfway point. Make sure that ridge is there. Seems really strange cutting something like this. There is my piece I've cut away. Chuck that in the tray. And then this side is going to be along at 14.85. So again, just a smidgen on the inside. And there. Can't hardly see it, but it's there. So there's our piece. This will make a little bit more sense to you, I think. So I'm going to get out my glue dots. Shame I've got a black mat with a dark brown card. Let me stick it on here for you, just to bring that up a little bit to you. Hope that helps. I'll turn that over. That's a piece of printing that went wrong. So if I now take my acetate here, I'm going to take 4 glue dots and I'm going to put 1 in each corner. Okay, so on the top here, press it on the back so you get 1 glue dot there. Move it along to the next one in the next corner. Okay, turn it round and get to the next one at the bottom, and then another one in there. So do save your acetate. There are special acetates you can buy. We sell the acetate. But if you've got anything you can use from packaging or like calendars when it comes to the end of year, if you've got a piece of acetate on your calendar, then that's good as well. Now, I've just put 2 on there for now. We are going to attach this other piece. I wanted you just to see how that will work. So there's my piece of acetate. So we're now going to secure that down on the inside here. We'll grab another couple. So if I just tear 2 of those off, okay, and grab a couple of glue dots, put it onto the card side, 1 there, and take it off, and then this one is going to go that side, and squeeze it, take it off. So that piece now will be completely adhered, and all that's showing on the inside is 4 little glue dots. Hi everybody, nice to see you. Got more people joining us. So that's that top piece done. This fits nicely. The acetate is nicely matching with the corners here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put that on there, but I need these 2 pieces done as well. So let's do these while it's in my hand. Okay, so the glue dots are on the inside. So there's 1, there's 2. I like to tear them off sometimes and just makes it a little bit easier to handle, especially when you're live. You don't want to battle with the roll. So that's 2 on there. So these 2 will go at the top, these 2 are at the bottom. Press it down and just make sure that we line everything up nicely. So that's the top, bottom 2, top 2, and there we go. And there we have our acetate window. Okay, now this piece here is your panel that will stretch this way across your card, and we will decorate on here. Okay, hope that all makes sense. Hi Marilyn, looking forward to seeing you soon. There we go. So that panel's going to come on here. We're going to decorate these layers first. Okay, we're going to put some papers on here as layers, but I am going to cut the liner to go inside as well. So pop this one over there because we'll need him in a minute. And my liner is going to be white. I've buried them. So I need a 1/4 sheet of white. So I'll lay that on top. So just cut a 1/4 sheet of this. So we're just under 10 centimetres by 14.3. When I get a spare 5 minutes, I really want to go through and cut a whole load of base card colours and a whole load of first layer cards. More of the white and the cream, the vanilla. But that I just feel would save me so much time. Just being able to have a tray on my desk that I can just take them out of. So this is going to be my liner, like so. And we will stamp a sentiment once we've got our panel here, okay, going across the gate. We will put a small greeting in there, and then we will do that on the inside, and we'll mark that where we're going to go after we've decorated it. So that's that. So I'm going to set that aside for now. We're going to stamp and cut a couple of the the sunflowers. Magnets on here for me aren't strong enough. They keep falling off, but there's my die that I will use. Oh, look, that was a coincidence. So you've all seen me stamp. Missed the beginning. See what you're making. Yes, can't wait to catch up. Excellent. Hi Zena as well. So this is the stamp I was going to be using, but I have actually stamped a whole load in here. Sometimes when I have a whole sheet, I just stamp them, rough cut them. So I had forgotten they were in there. I know we used some the other day, but I am going to cheat this evening, and I'm going to take 2 of those out. Okay. Do I or don't I? Maybe I won't, because I was going to show you another technique. So I might leave that now. I'm going to stamp them because I'd like you to see another technique. You like to learn things, don't you, when we do these lives? So my block is handy to there. And my piece of white I got earlier was there. And my mat. Put the die to the side just for a minute. Just have a sip. I've had a really tickly throat. I've had, because I was home for 2 weeks solid. Yesterday I was out. I was at a busman's holiday, and then doing somebody else's class for ribbon embroidery, which was really nice. And so today I was also out. I went out on Monday as well. I can't remember where. And so Tuesday was Broxham for the class. Today I was out with my cousin, and I've been nattering most of the day, and so my throat is a bit tickly and a bit, yeah, hoarse. So what I'm going to show you on here is the 3, just make sure there's no hairs on there. Smudge does like to come and join us. So there are my 3 markers. Now these are the Stampin' Right markers. So I've got the Crushed Curry, Espresso and the Garden Green. And these are all water-based inks. So these are not the Stampin' Blends. These are water-based inks. So if I lay them at the top, I'm going to go round. I'm going to start in the middle. Because they are water-based, I'm going to take the wide tip here, and I'm using my pen at an angle, not the tip. You're not going to mush that tip. You want to protect that tip as long as you can. And all I'm doing is using it on a slant, and I'm colouring in the middle section here. Okay, I don't know how many of you have seen this. It's not something I've done recently, I know. So let's pop that on there. And then working outwards from there, I'm going to use the yellow. I've chosen Crushed Curry tonight. So I'm going to come round that edge. I don't want to touch onto that espresso, but I'm just going to drag my pen round the inside so that there is ink on all the flowers. Now, where you get, there are a couple of leaves here. In fact, if I do the leaves first, you'll be able to see them. So I can just, there is some fluff floating around here. Okay, if I do those first, if I get my glasses on, I'll get a bit closer. I did see a video today of how awful it looks when somebody sticks their head over the screen. So I'm conscious that I don't want to do that for you. So if I bring this up to the screen more, you'll be able to see a little bit more detail. So I'm starting off at the point and I'm coming inwards where the leaf is only. So that kind of helps you because it's a darker colour, especially on camera. A darker colour, you'll be able to see where that is. Move the stamp round and I'm just going to colour in that piece again. So I'm going to take that there and bring just the green, okay, into there. Okay, hopefully you can see that okay. So that's the brown and that's the green. Now we'll go back to the Crushed Curry. Okay, so we're going around here. We are trying to be very careful to only touch the yellow pieces. Okay, so we're just going to colour that in, start at 12 o'clock and work round. Smudge has been sound asleep, Shaz, and David's gone up to bed now and she is now yowsing at the door. So she keeps on, I will let her in. So I'm just colouring this round gently. I'm just using my pen at an angle. Hopefully you can see that okay, without me getting a head in the way. Okay, and if you're doing multiples of this, it does work nicely because you've already got the ink in place. Once you've stamped it once, you will see where you've been and you'll see which colours are which, so it's easier to go over again. Okay, just want to take that tip there, a little bit in there. Okay, you still love how this looks. It's beautiful, isn't it? Hey, Julie? It's just magical, but you've got to be careful. You cannot do this with the Stampin' Blends. Okay, so that's all of those. Now, some people say that you need to huff on it. So just to reawaken that, just breathe on it, and I'm going to stamp that down. Okay, press nice and heavily on that. If you wanted to, you could still do this on the Stamparatus, but it's a bigger plate, and then you've got to slot it in the machine. So it's entirely up to you. So that is how that is looking. Now that is, it's a little bit splodgy in places, but we're going to drag that colour in. We're not going to leave it like that. So now I'm going to turn that round, and I'm quickly going to do exactly the same again. I don't like my paper not being straight, so sorry, I've just tipped that. So we'll start off in the middle, okay, just doing that centrepiece. Okay, so you can see where the colours are where I've gone over before, so that's much easier this time. So if you wanted to do several, yeah, it did cross my mind whether I use it for my swaps for convention, but I don't think I will. I think it's just a little bit too long-winded for me. Plus I've already cut my base layers and all of my layers for the card that I'm going to do. So it's all on the way. Okay, and that's ahead of time. Well, the layers are cut, leave it at that. I need them by about, I think we go fly on the 8th of November, so I've got a month, just short of. So just going over that again, so you can just see me going round with the nib of the pen, taking, oh, I didn't go around the inside here. I like to do the line round there just so that you've got something to meet to without touching the espresso. Okay. And you will bleed that colour in shortly. Okay, we start back at the top again and just come along whichever way round you want to go, clockwise or anti-clockwise. I think clockwise is easier for me. I'm right-handed, so I tend to go that way round the clock. Okay, some things come easier to us, don't they? One-handed or the other. So I'm not scrubbing it, I'm just gently, virtually flat, virtually horizontally, and just going over those edges of the stamps. Okay, and come back to where I started. So in there like so. Okay, so we'll put the lid back on my pen and my tray so they don't roll off the table. Give it a half and then stamp it down again. Okay, this is easier to do when you've got the, to colour them in when they are on the, on a bigger piece of card. So I haven't cut these out beforehand. Looming little nose. So I will, you've got different choices here. You have a water brush. We have the aqua painters that come in the sets of 3. So you can actually use that and actually bleed some colour. So if I just stamp those leaves again, roughly on there. Very pale because I haven't re-inked them. But you can drag that colour in. You can have a clean piece of kitchen roll. Just fold that in 4 and have that beside you to work on, or an 1/8 like that, fold it again. You can see that that is actually running quite heavily. So you are using a dry nib, it's damp, but then you're going to bleed in the colour. Okay, that kind of is my preferred one. Of course, you then have the Stampin' Blends can work, the Stampin' Blends, blender pens, sorry, blender pens, not the Stampin' Blends. So the blender pens kind of work the same way. These are glycerin based, and so I haven't done this lately, so I think I'll use this one. So the glycerin based, I'm going to bring your screen in for you girls, so you can see me down on the table more. So these ones will do the same type of thing. They have a wet substance in there. It's a glycerin based, and you can just bleed some of that colour out, and you can work round, hold your piece of card and work round, so you're working at an angle. If you wanted to take a touch more colour, you can grab the Crush Curry and you can squeeze that ink pad really firmly and then use the inside of that as a palette. That hasn't come through very well. Some of these newer style ones are harder to squeeze than others. There is a little in there, and I could pick some of that colour up and paint with that. So if you want to just add some more detail in, you can. Other than that, I like to just bleed the colours that's already there. Okay, so that's what we'll do. Just using that the blender pen. Okay, and these just dragging that colour, and this is one of the most beautiful techniques I like to do. It's just dragging colour. It's already there. So I'll do both of those. It is very, very light colour, the yellows. So just add a touch more and spread that along. Okay. You're all with me still. Let your friend, and she's gone quiet now, Shaz. She's gone to lie down, I think. She might even have joined David upstairs on the bed, my side. And this is something you can take on holiday. If you do some images, these images that have been watercoloured on here, you can actually wake those up. So going back to something I've mentioned before about when we were children, very young children, and you had a pot of water and you had a plain paintbrush, and the pages in the colouring book were impregnated with the colours, the ink colours. So you had to clean your brush in between. But that made magic colours because it just did it automatically. This is kind of like that. So you could have a little bag of these, just pieces ready to colour, and you could just waken that colour up. So you can either watercolour it or use the blender pen. All we do is just wipe the nib on a piece of kitchen roll just when you come to the end. So the green is going to show up really nicely because it's a stronger colour. Okay, it's very, very subtle. I do like the subtle look. And that's why I always took to watercolouring. So I was pleased when Stampin' Up brought out some. And then we're going to do the centre here. Okay, it just kind of fills in that white. Doing circular motions just to bring that in. And then this one. Holding my breath. There you go, as I go. So can you see that's quite a subtle finish, but it's such a difference to where we had the original images. Whoops, a daisy, a bit close. Can't wait to do this technique. Oh, Cindy, enjoy, have fun. So the Stampin' Right markers come in a box, so you can have all the colours in there. You can get the families on their own. You can get a colour family of 10. So look in the catalogue, each colour family is in a 10 on its own. So I'm just going to chop this piece off with big scissors. And then I'm going to run this through the mini cut and emboss machine. So I cut that in two, then I won't get scratchy lines on the other one. So I've done both of those, showed you those. So that's another one. Mini machine. And I said the last time, if the mat is out, I lean on it because it is really nice to have that little cushion. It kind of stops it sliding everywhere. And I haven't got any tape on here, so there's one there. Yeah, so I can use those two pieces. So this is just to anchor this down so it doesn't move while I'm cutting. I anchor look for the leaves to anchor on, so that is my main point, and the rest will just go down as and when. Come back for the next one. So take your mask off, your outside off, and you'll probably even find that you can keep the tape on the die. That in the bin. Come back for the next one. Line it up all the way around. There you go. It works lovely on florals as well. It's really subtle, really delicate. Okay, so I'll just push that out, and I'm going to leave that one in the case. Take that off later. That's done. So there are our two pieces. Okay, so that's lovely. So we're going to go back and finish cutting our matte layers because we don't know what colours we're going to do on here yet and how we're going to fit them onto our panel. Okay, so I know that this card is 10.5, so my matte layer for this is going to be 10. You know what? We go back to the white paper now. So this is going to be on my matte layer, and it needs to be 10. And then this was just under 5, wasn't it? So we want that to be 4.5. Okay, I have wrongly written that on my measurement sheet. I'll sort that out later. So our middle layer in here, we kind of want to keep to these colours. So we want to keep in that sort of vein. So I think I'm going to go for crushed curry. And we're going to go the width of that, so 4.5 by 10. We're going to need that twice because we're going to have top and bottom. So 10 centimetres and 4.5 twice. So I cut it at 9 centimetres. Oh dear, you're really still zoomed in, aren't you? Let me come out a bit. There you go. Oh, there you go. So I'm going to cut this width. I'm going to cut this to 9 because I know I need 2 pieces of 4.5. So that little piece can go in my scrap tray, and then 4.5. You're going to find me once a month. I have a container on my desk that I have got pieces in. It's actually, I'm going to show you, apart from the fact that I've got some heat and stick powder in there. That's it's a bit dangerous. So here is this was one of those candles that has a wick down the middle that crackles like a fire. So I've been putting in pieces in here, just random pieces. There's a whole card there, take that one out. Look, there we go. There's the basic one that I did with the piggy, this little pig. So I've got some pieces in here that and some strips and pieces. So I have that now on my desk. So I have one place to put my little scraps, even a little gold star that I was playing with some people last week, making a project that's going to be a retreat one. So I won't give that one away yet. So we're going to pop those two on top there. And then just going to go to the DSP that I've got out ready. Stand you up there. This one here is one of the DSPs we had. Would you believe I ordered this by accident? I really didn't mean to. I came to order these and mistook the 3 for being the last one, and I ordered the Gingham Cottage 12 by 12 papers instead of the pearlised enamel special effects. So that is my faux pas, just for getting the wrong product number. I'm just chucking it in. So these are all gingham papers. There are some nice shades in here, some nice patterns. They will all get used, but they wouldn't be my first choice to choose. So I have some yellows in here. I did wonder about putting that little check on there actually. Don't think we've got the, that might be. Oh, no, I'm using the yellows in the daffodils because of the sunflowers, so I'm going to stick to that. We've got some nice ones for Halloween. We've got pinks, big checks, little checks, greys. That's quite a nice one, but that's black. I'm using the espresso today. So there's quite a variety in there, and of course all of those have got patterns on the back of them, not necessarily the same colour. So just wanted you to see that one, and I think this one would actually look quite nice going on the top there. So we've got the little shape, and that would then just bring it through. So that one is then going to be 9.5 by 4. Okay, so going down 0.5 centimetre. For my American friends that are with us, you need to go down 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch. So what did I say there? 9.5 definitely. So let us strip down at 9.5, and then we're going to go 4. So this way I've got 2 pieces at 4, so I'm going to cut that at 8, discard that piece, and then cut this in 4. It just saves you a little bit of work. There we go, so we've got 2 of those. As I said, I'm not doing the panel to go down the top yet. You're going to have one of those top and bottom, so they will fit just nicely in there. So let's get the Tombow. Are you all keeping up with me? I'll bring you in a little bit further again, just halfway. There we go, it's not so bad. And just layer those up for you. So squeeze around the edge quickly. And tweezers if they're about. Oh, hiding. I did get some more in actually. I had some more arrive. I've got another spare pair now. I gave one of mine away. So that's a nice big check. That probably would have gone, but with the detail of the flowers, I just wanted to keep that nice and small. This is quite a nice one to do with the acetate sheet in there. It just gives you the support instead of it just suspended in midair. I have done these in the past. It's just nice to bring back techniques. Got so many I want to reawaken and do with new product. We've got a bit of an issue with orders at the moment, ladies. Those of you who've got a few people waiting. Yeah, we're getting messages from Stanford Lee Hope, or Stanford No Hope, as a lot of us name. When they have issues, we don't get the updates, and it's just so annoying not being able to know where things are and where it's going to arrive. Mine should have arrived yesterday, and it's still stuck due to unforeseen circumstances or weather. So this is not Stampin' Up, this is the UPS end. So there's my base card, and we're going to bring this panel back, and we can decide what we'd like to have on there. If we're going to bring our I keep calling them daffodils because they're yellow. I nearly had Daffodil Delight. We can have that on there like so. I want to get the sentiment in here first so that we know our spacing. Now, my trick with this one is I'm using one out of the same set because it's just easier. I'm going to place this in here. So what I'm going to do is take all of that off, grab my Stamparatus that is sitting here patiently waiting to come and say hello. So I can get rid of all of that. So if I pop this into the corner with my panel on it, I'm going to anchor it down here and here. And now that's roughly where I'm going to have that position. So I need to know where that is going to sit. Okay, I want it to be straight, and that's where it's going to sit. So I'm going to pick up my stamp. Yours arrived yesterday, Julie. Lucky you. It's just so annoying, isn't it? So I'm going to take all of that out of there now. I'm going to, yes, now that's the point. Because I've got a matte layer on here, I need to bring that in slightly from the edge. I normally always go into the corner. I need to bring it in slightly away both sides because this is my matte layer, isn't it? Should have thought of that when I put it down. Okay, so we'll bring it in slightly down from the top and slightly in from the side. Okay, just got to pray that that's going to be good. Okay, I'm going to use espresso on this one just to bring the colour from the base card in. Tap, tap on there. Something like this in this position, it is easier to do it with the Stamparatus. That's pretty good first time, so I don't need to ink it up a second time. Okay, so get rid of those, get those all out of the way, off the camera, take that out, close that, I'll clean that later, and we'll get this in. Once your liner is in, you can then work around where you're going to place your panel, etc. But whilst we've got this out, I am just going to add some colour to this stamp again. I'm going to colour a little bit of the middle, just on there. And I'm going to do the leaves again. So I'll do it down here this time. You've seen me do it up close to the camera. Okay, you know, when I remember to do the liners and the envelope flaps, you know, we like to see no naked inside, so we cover that and put some sort of detail on it. Now this, I'm just going to go around here and then stamp it, not the whole image, I'm going to stamp most of it into the corner. Okay, and it can just stay uncoloured, just as an outline. Just adds a little bit of detail. Okay, so basically we're working out away from the colour, so you can stroke it that way. You're just trying to not contaminate your other colours. Okay, give it a half, just for, yeah, some people say that works, some people It depends how long it takes you to colour. Obviously, if you're a slow colourer, then it might start drying out because they're water based, and that just sits on the corner there. Just brings that pattern back in. Okay, so we'll get that one down. Water based inks dry very quickly, almost immediately, so I'm not worried about that smudging. And that can be centred inside. A card like this has to have the liner so that you can see the sentiment through. So that's going to go into that window there. Look, it worked. It worked. So this one here, it's up to you whether you want to put it on foam pads. I kind of like to do that. So I'm going to put the dimensionals on and I will work upwards. So I'm going to put this on the corners. You don't want it to go underneath your acetate window. So if you put those top and bottom, that should be fine. I'm going to put one more in the centre, a little bit higher. So I'm going to put that one with a flat edge along the bottom here, just sort of in the middle. And the same with this one. So I'll carefully place those. So it's a flat edge, still well away from the edge. Okay, so we can just pick those off. 1, 2, and 3. Put that back in the box. And 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And then put that one in the centre. Over to the side, we can still see our greeting. And just pop that down and just check on the inside. No dimensionals are showing. Okay, nice and neat and tidy. So here I would not tend to put, because the width will go down too small, I wouldn't put the 2 layers on there. I think if I'm going to stick my sunflowers coming through, however I'd like to put them. Yes. I might have done a third one actually. Another time I might do a third one, have the leaves coming there, that one coming there, and then could do a third one coming down here. But I don't want to keep you going. I know the time's cracking on, so I think I still will stick to the 2. What should we put behind that one? I've got a feeling I might do white. I'm not sure whether that's going to be too much if I do that. Yes, it's definitely too much. So I'll grab my piece of white back. And cut a little matte layer. Now I think this should be 4.5 by 10. So I'm going to grab the little trimmer. Where did you go? Where did you hide? I've just used you. Come back. So 4.5 by 10. 4.5 and 10. That is mostly going to be covered. So, but it just, you don't want to overpower it. And stick that one on there like so. And then we're going to bring the yellows through. Lovely. Okay. There are other elements in the set. If you wanted to, you've got some lovely, I will bring it back on at the end. There are some lovely, I call them fronds, sort of like some branchy bits that you could use for something like this as well. One with the leaves up there and one with the leaves down there. Kind of like them overlapping just a bit, like so. Does that look good? You like 3s? Yeah, Shaz, I know. But then I will, do you want me to do another one? Do you want me to hang on? I can do that. I can do another one if you'd like. Just quickly. It will make it, won't it? It really will. And I've got everything to hand. So let's just quickly run one through. Unfortunately, because when I do recordings and things like this, I would fast forward it through. Talking of which, next week, ladies, I will not be live. I have a bit of a, she does follow on here sometimes. I have a bit of a birthday to take somebody out and celebrate next Sunday. So my Maria, my guest, Ukrainian guest, it's her birthday, and obviously she won't have family and everything around her, so we are going out for a meal, taking her out and Anna. So probably won't be back in time. If I am, then I'll go live. But what I will do for you is to have a recorded video. I know exactly what I'm going to do. So I'll have a recorded video. So like I say, things like this, I would fast forward through on a recording. When they're live, you can't quite do that. So there will be some content. If I'm not live, there will be one lined up to go to play live for you. Okay. So I won't be able to interact with you, but there will be something for you to watch, and I will put it on both YouTube and Facebook. Okie doke. Plonk down. Oh, I missed a bit. I can fill that in with the blend. So just quickly colour this in. Go quickly, look. I'm not scrubbing the nib, I'm on the side, so it's going quite nicely. The piece that didn't come out quite right up here, I'm just going to colour that in a bit darker. You see, it's a tip because it shows you how you can correct your own mistakes if you hurry like Sandra. Okay, I think I got all the way around. Just wipe that on the edge there and then do the leaves. The leaves show up quite nicely because it's a stronger colour, as I said earlier. I can hear voices downstairs. And this kind of goes circular motions. It's just bringing in the colour from the ink that's already down. There we go. Wipe that off so it doesn't stain the nib. Quickly cut another one. I put it back in the case, didn't I? I think it will make it all the difference, so yeah, it's worth hurrying through another one. And that won't go through here, so I'll just chop that off. My desk will be a tip again. It usually is after a live. Okay, but it does get tidied up. I've got people in tomorrow, so I've got some ladies coming to see me, so it will have to be tidied up in the morning. I'll get David to do school run, I think. And there we go. That didn't take long when I'm not talking through it, did it? Throw that there. Some dimensionals on the back. Oh no, we're not doing are we doing dimensionals? I think we've got the dimensionals on here, so I think I'll put 2 flat and 1 raised. So I'm going to do them down there. Okay, so that's coming that way, like so. I want the green leaves on this one to be going away from the sentiment, so it's not going to sit on the sentiment. So that one can come randomly there, just at different angles. And then the third one, things are good in 3s, aren't they? So that went downwards, pointwards, that can go upwards. And this one will be raised. Oh, it would be that one that was left, wouldn't it? The one with the missed a little bit. But I think it will be fine. So putting some of those on. 1, 2, and 3. I normally manage to get 3 in one tweezer lift. Chuck them out of the way. So then this one's not going to stick out over the greeting and get in the way, so that can come that direction. Just off an angle. Ooh. She says, I want to make sure that they aren't hanging over the back. Yeah, so there's no dimensionals overhanging, just the card. That's fine. There we go. So a few dimensionals, a few gems on there. Definitely nicer with the 3. You're right. It was worth taking some time out, wasn't it? Now, these are retired, but they need using up. If you're making it current product, if you want the in-colour jewels, you could use those. They do need using up, but I think I will keep it current tonight. They come, I put those sort of retired products on my my cards for sale, or, you know, sending out to people. Just put 3 of these. I'll turn you over, come on. There. I'm going to put 1 underneath with the greeting, so there's 1 under there. 1, 2, 3, 4. can go randomly up there somewhere. There we go. So there you go. There's my card. If I take my paper out now, there is the finished card. Okay, so I hope 3 is better balanced. Absolutely. Yeah, I should have thought of that before. I didn't know how that strip that I cut out, obviously I knew the length. Wasn't quite sure how that was going to work. I thought 2 would be okay, but 3 is so much better. There we go. Bring it up to the camera for you. I hope you like that. With the gingham check on there, it was a subtle one. It doesn't want to be busy. And then inside, you've got a little bit of the pattern, and then you've got your sentiment. So again, this could be just coloured in like the same as the rest of them if you wanted to. Okay, just blend over that a little bit. Wipe the nib. Take the green. That finishes it off as well, just to be the same as the others. And then the middle. Okay, so these were Stampin' Blends that I used today. They are glycerin based. So blender pens. There's too many similar names, isn't there? So they were blender pens, and you get 3 in a packet. And then they're glycerin based. So when they start to run out, you can actually refill them. Okay, so I'll take a photo of that. I'm really behind on uploading my photos to my Facebook group here. So I will start loading those. 3 takes it to another level. Yes, you're all agreeing with me. Well done, hearts. Thank you, ladies. Please, you like it. And like I say, I will have recorded content for you for next Sunday night. I doubt if we'll be home in time. So we'll see. So if I'm not home, then I'll set that live. Okay. So bring you back to me. Take that off, and there we go. And there I am, as if by magic. Okay. Thanks for joining me. I know it's 50 minutes. Yeah, a little bit longer tonight. But it's a nice card, and I'm really pleased with it. So hopefully you all enjoyed it too. If you watch me on replay, then please hit the like and subscribe if you're new to me. And you will find me here on Sundays at 8 and 9 on Wednesdays. So I will see you all again very soon.